how are you guys dealing with sellers? I'll start with Rhonda in France. You seeing prices going down? I'm sure you're still taking listings. Talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. For the moment, it's difficult to say about the price will going down in Paris because for the moment we cannot visit a lot of properties, in fact. And I think we doesn't have a lot of inventory, and Paris very small city, so I'm not sure the price will fall down in Paris anyway. But well, we need to see what will be happening after this situation when we can go outside and see what's happening. But anyway, I stay close to my seller, and we try to do the new way to work with them, because they asking, well, if somebody come to us, if they have the virus with them and everything, so what we can do and everything. So we should think about the protection, like a mask, like gloves, and we decide before each first visit to present the video of apartment and pre-select the buyers to be sure that they really have they won't really buy the property, and only after that we can organize the visit. So this is situation with the sellers. And another things very interesting what we start to do with my marketing team. I ask to do some survey, how you feel in your home and this kind of situation. Do you think your home is good for you? Maybe you want to have something more, something, maybe want to change something. And the people actually, they have a lot of time, and they're really happy when we ask this kind of question. And it's helped us to understand maybe after a few weeks they want to sell their properties, or they want to change something. And actually we have a standby listing to take it after this time. Yeah.
So that's great. It sounds like you're not going to lose values in Paris. Not yet.
No, I don't think so. No.
That's awesome. That's awesome news for us in the United States, because we're not far behind you guys. So thank you. Anthony, I'm gonna scoot over to you. What are you doing when you talk to potential sellers, and what are you doing with your listings?
Yeah, so one thing I'm super excited about in today's market here in San Diego, that I feel like now more than ever, the sellers have been more coachable than they've ever been in the past. In the past, what were sellers saying? I'm just gonna throw it on the market and I'll get whatever I want. You know, I'll get 20,000 above ask price. I'll get multiple offers, and when it was a seller's market, they felt like whatever they wanted was going to happen. Now, because of things, how they're changing in the market, there's so much uncertainty. If you like brand yourself as the agent that knows what's going on in today's market and how to sell their house in a way that's going to answer that first question again, how are you going to keep them safe? They listen to you, and they're more coachable than ever. So, you know, one of the scripts that I have with them is, you know, the days of us putting your property on the market above market value, hoping offers to come in, the days of having open houses with 30, 40 people in to drive the price up, those days are over, at least right now until the quarantine. So if you want to sell your house in today's market, the goal is, how do we get the qualified buyers into your house? And this is my steps. These are my processes to make sure that we are getting the most qualified people in here. So it's all about like having a solution to the problem. And when they understand that the market is different and they almost become a student again, whatever you say and the steps you put into place, they're going to follow you, whether that's virtual open houses only for the first weekend, and then having private showings, you know, with a seller questionnaire or a questionnaire for the buyers to make sure that they're safe. Whatever process you put in place, whatever you think the property should be priced at, they're going to follow you now, because now more than ever, they need an agent that's going to coach them on how to sell their property in today's market. So I'm having a blast, to be honest. It's great. These are probably like the best escrows that we've had in a while. And our virtual open house system is like our bread and butter right now for helping our sellers, finding buyers, doing showings, keeping everybody safe. And so that's like our main avenue right now.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
Rhonda.
Yes. Well, I think that how you entered into this COVID situation determines what you're going to do next while we're at home and everything. And I kind of stepped in with a very strong social media understanding and connection with people. And I'm really glad I had that set up. Because that's the way I communicate now. I communicate with video, and I communicate with all the different platforms. And I really think that Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, they need to step up and match where we're at. They need to kind of present to us formats that create more than just pictures. They just need to get more creative also, because we're so dependent on them right now and what our sellers and buyers are looking at. But my sellers and I have a really good relationship with my sellers, and I like to say, and every one of them have stepped in a different direction. And I feel when I sit with them in the beginning, when this started, my conversation was different with everyone. And I realized after this started rolling, that I could not be the expert again. I had to really let them know, though, my expertise is going to be in getting you as much visibility as possible online, and even some selected print. But, like I just did a full page ad in a nice local magazine, and I don't think anyone picked it up. So I need to communicate these things and tell my sellers that I'm now going to go in this direction. They need to know what I'm doing. So I need to communicate to them that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And we're just going to keep going, because I feel that sellers just want to know that we're supporting them, we're behind them, and we're doing what we can do best. And our social media right now is probably the most important part. And if you stepped in with it already as a strong tool, you're great. If you didn't, then take this time and make it one of your number one tools, because what we're going through has changed the way that we're all doing business coming forward, because our clients, buyers or sellers, are going to get used to it. And it's easy for them. So anyway, my sellers we talk. We really try to talk as much as we can. We can't really do a lot of showings right now. If we do, like I said before, it's the vacant properties. And when it comes to pricing, I just want to say, I don't think we should jump right now and start making a bunch of price changes. Our inventory in Hawaii is low, and on all levels. And Maui is still a dream property, location, and buyers still want to come here. And if they were thinking it before COVID, they're probably going to make some moves in the next year to kind of make that come through, because they don't want to be stuck wherever they were, wherever they thought they didn't want to be. They want to be where they want to be. So I think we need to be ready and use this time, because a lot of us aren't doing anything, right? We're not selling. We don't have escrows. The reality is the majority of people do not have escrows. And what they should be doing is prepping and getting ready for when this opens back up and we slowly step in. And it's not going to take much to get all your social media platforms, as your strongest tool. So.
Thank you, Rhonda. So Rhonda mentioned that she was going to mention to sellers that she's doing this, 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 and this. So I'll complete that sentence through Robert's mouth. I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you, what would you say that this, 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 and this is to your sellers?
For us, it's having all the media out there, right? So that any buyer from their couch with a lot more time on their hands right now can walk through their property via a full motion video, a Matterport 3D tour, a simple kind of walkthrough video as well, and as many photos as we can get on the MLS, right? So just literally
great photos. Great photos. Spend the money for really nice presentation photos and videos. I don't agree in using the iPhone and taking photos, and get that pro in there. Get a good job done.
I'd venture to say that every listing that we have needs to have a Matterport video done. At a minimum, Matterport has to be done.
No question about it. Yeah, I agree completely. But I think as many video fields as your MLS allows, you should have filled up. The other thing I think right now with sellers, I mean, again, figuring out their why, their timing, their finances, that kind of thing, I think is more important than ever. And really, letting them know that it's really like going into the holidays, everybody asks, should I list before the holidays, during the holidays, or wait till after? And it's really the same thing, just a little bit more, exaggerated. Do you want to be the one listing on the market in your, price range, or do you want to wait and join the masses after this blows over? Because there's still buyers that need to buy right now. And there's a lot, in my market at least, there's a lot of listings that have withdrawn and are no longer on the market. So you can really be the only option out there for buyers that still need to buy. So that's still the conversation and the script. And I think, you got to ultimately support them in their decision and, respect their decision, right? Because for buyers and sellers right now, advise them, consult with them, but, I think you got to support them in their decision. So you're the person they come to when the time comes.
Right.
Your volume's off.
I missed that.
You're in Seattle, which is one of the epicenters in the U.S. What are you seeing with pricing, and what are you telling your people?
So as far as pricing, we're not seeing much of a change. I haven't dealt with much hesitation from sellers. We're still going strong. I had a listing that went live last week, and within a day and a half, it was pending. People are still willing to list their homes. They have agendas. That hasn't changed, whether they're facing foreclosure, they have military or corporate relocation, whatever it is. People are still moving along and, of course, taking precautions. I have really stressed for people who are wanting to wait until after, preparing your home. Who gets this much time to sit at home and be with their family and not have much to do? So this is the time to paint your house and fix up the garden and mow your lawn. And those are a lot of things that sellers will kind of skip over because, they just want to throw it on the market, as you said. And so one of the things that I did was I created a checklist for preparing your home, all the way from listing paperwork to your small repairs, and getting it listed on the market. And I emailed that over, and they can actually go in and edit it through the PDF, just check mark everything. So it keeps them motivated, and they feel like they have a task list of things that they can handle themselves. And I am willing to share that if anyone wants to email me, but it has all information branded, it's good, and it keeps them motivated. I will say personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Matterport. I do listing videos. Matterport I haven't jumped into, I've wanted to. I think that should only be used if it's a tool for marketing. I've seen buyers that have been open to putting offers just based off of Matterport, and I think that puts your seller at risk, especially when it comes inspection and they decide it's not the house that they truly wanted. So unless it's a marketing thing, it's not for me, and I do listing videos on a little bit higher end homes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chuck. Well, what's really refreshing is that most of you guys said prices aren't going down, and everyone still needs to, or a lot of people out there still need to buy and sell. So it feels good to hear that. It's happening all over the world. So it's really up to us to get our heads out of the sand, if they are, and get out there and crush it. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for sharing.
Hey, Peter, can I add one thing? I was listening to, obviously, to Rhonda, and then you listened to Anastasia. And we're noticing this whether you're in Huntington Beach or whether you're, down in San Diego. Basically, and I know I've already said this, but it truly does seem to be, it's the upper end and luxury markets that are taking the beatings right now. And from all the owners and everybody that we've talked about, that is the difference. I mean, Anastasia's average sales price is somewhere between $250 and $350, right?
A little bit higher, yeah. But
okay, under 500. So, I mean, that stuff is still moving. And unfortunately, Rhonda, what we're seeing is from a lot of people down here in our market where the average sales price is for, and I think Lance would agree, unfortunately for your situation, we're still seeing a lot of listings and a lot of buyers and a lot of movement out there. So I think that might be a unique situation to your market. But one thing I do want to say is just in answering that question of what to tell sellers, one of my agents the other day made a post inside of our internal Facebook group that I want to share with you guys. And it said, thank you, agents, for putting your listings on hold. The one I just listed today sold in 2 days because of it. Please thank your sellers for taking theirs off the market. So I know that sounds really kind of corny, but he meant it, and it sold in 2 days. So one thing I do want to say is take those listings, put them on the market. The buyers that are out there are serious. And, it's kind of like somebody mentioned holidays. Robert, you mentioned during the holidays, I'll take one buyer on New Year's Day versus 5 on a sunny day because that's a serious buyer, right? So into your listing. So just something to share.